Happy Easter, everybody. This is Chef Mario, aka Tony Tango. Today I'm going to show you how we're going to make our rosemary potato focaccia. I'm going to show you the ingredients first and some of the advanced prep work that we did to get ready for the show. So come on in. The next ingredient is one whole head of garlic. And the way I like to do my garlic is I'll place it root side down. I'll put my knife on top and smash it. And once the garlic is separated like that, I'll go ahead and I'll separate the cloves from the skin. And once I've done that, I will take each individual clove, give it a little smash, and pop it out. And I'll go ahead and do this off camera so you don't have to watch all of the painstaking work. But once I get each garlic clove cleaned, what I will do is I will go back and slice each head. Make a nice thin slice. And I'm getting the garlic prepared and hoping everybody is home safe and sound and staying clear of anybody that might get them sick. Bea and I are having a great time at home, doing a lot of projects. Bea's been cooking, working on her new YouTube channel, She Sings Glory. You get a chance to go check it out. I think you'll be impressed. She's done a lot of recordings at the church, so if you need some spirit and a place to listen to some great music, go see Bea at She Sings Glory. Another project I've been working on, I've been doing some wood carving. I got a little bird that I'm going to paint later today. Like I said, Bea's been making cookies and making videos, and between that and taking care of our chickens, we've managed to stay pretty busy. I will say we've been lucky and so both very well quarantined and haven't had any trouble with any coronavirus. I will say, though, we have had one corona in the house. I'm glad to say it's the kind that I like to drink.
Action.
All right. So I went ahead and prepped up our garlic here. Got it peeled and ready to go. And the next thing I'm going to do is just take my 2 potatoes. Going to get our rough cut grater. And we're just going to grate them up. And once we get this out the way, we'll start mixing the flours together to get ready to make our focaccia. Be careful you don't cut your hands here. I am an experienced chef, so please don't try this at home unless you're a professional. Cut. You on action? The ingredients call for 3 tablespoons of rosemary, and what I've got is some of our fresh rosemary from our garden. Anything out of the garden is always going to be a lot better than what you can get at the store. I like to just strip it off the stems and cut the end there. Then what I normally do is I'll take my rosemary or my herbs, batch them nice and close together, always tucking my thumb behind my fingers, and if I can feel the back of the knife against my fingers, I know my thumb is behind it, and so it's safe, and I really don't have to worry about cutting my fingers. And I went ahead and done some of this prep ahead of time, so we're just going to show you a little bit so we can get the gist of where it's cut. And there we go. And as you can see, we got all our prep ready together. We got our 7 cups of flour, we got our honey, our yeast, salt, black pepper, our olive oil, our red pepper, our rosemary, our fresh garlic, and our potatoes. Next thing we're going to do is throw it together. We're going to get 2 cups of hot water. It has to be about 110 degrees. Best way to tell is when it starts to feel hot to your touch. That's going to be about the right temperature. I've got my thermometer, and we got 1 cup. Now if it's too hot, it will kill your yeast, so don't go over the wrong end. As you can see, it's a little bit hot right there, so I'm going to back it up just a little. And there we go. Alright, so we got 2 cups of hot water. We are adding our 2 ounces of yeast. And then we're going to add our honey. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a warm spot for a few minutes and let it come alive and grow. All right, so we have let our yeast, flour, and honey raise for a little bit, and what that does is the yeast is starting to grow. And our next part of our ingredients are we're going to add 2 cups of flour. So 2 cups of flour, we're going to mix that in. And then we're going to add half of our olive oil, all of our salt, and at this point I like to put my black pepper in. And I'm going to let that combine for a few minutes, making sure that it's very well combined. And once I've got that incorporated and blended fairly well, what we're going to do is add our 2 cups of potatoes that we shredded down. And once again, I'll make sure that's well blended. And then after that, we're going to start adding in the rest of our flour. And then we'll start working our dough. Alright, so I'm not going to make you watch me mix all this in, so we'll come back in a moment and I'll show you when we start kneading the bread. Okay, so I've been mixing this dough for about 3 minutes or so and it's come together. So my next thing I'm going to do is, I've added flour to this as we go along to get the right consistency. I'm going to take some of our flour and flour our board, and then we're going to pour the bread out onto it. And what I'm going to do for the next 10 minutes is work on my forearms and just start kneading the bread. And if I think it's a little dry, what I will do is I'll just add some more of my flour to get the right consistency and make sure that it works good. So kneading's really just folding the bread over and giving it a good push, making sure everything is well mixed. Regular chefs will have a big machine and they usually let their machine do it with a dough hook. As you can see, it's still just a little sticky, so I'll keep adding flour to it until I get it the right consistency. What you want is you want it not to be sticking on the onto your platform or onto your cutting board. And you just knead it till it's ready to go. So we'll come back and show you the rest in just a minute.
Action.
All right. So I've been kneading this dough for about 10 hours. Actually, it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, I've got a nice consistency with it, and I've used up most of our flour. You'll either have a little too much or a little too less flour, so don't worry about it if you haven't used it all. Next thing I'm going to do is I got my bowl here. I'm going to take some olive oil and swirl it around the sides. And we are going to take our ball of dough. I'm going to lay it inside here. And we're going to toss it around so it gets all coated. A nice little olive oil coating. And I'm going to take a nice hot towel, cover it, and hopefully it'll grow in size to about double its size in about an hour, and we'll take it from there. I just got it. I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to find a nice warm spot for it, and we'll let it rise up. All right. Chef Tony Tango's back again. It's been about an hour, and as you can see, our Focaccia has doubled in size. So I'm going to turn my oven on to about 375. I have a sheet pan that I'm going to spray with some olive oil. We love to use our little olive oil sprayer, and that's just going to coat our pan. And then we're going to go ahead and roll out the Focaccia onto our board. Just want to make sure it's going to be the right size as much as possible when I lay it on. So I'm going to roll out our Focaccia. You can see it's nice and oily and just delicious. It smells beautiful. So I'm going to take that and make sure my pan is oiled. I'm going to lay the Focaccia on the pan. And we're just going to kind of spread it out. So it's going to fill our pan up. And just kind of get it nice and even, work it into the pan a little bit. And we're actually going to let this proof one more time before we bake it. But what I like to do at this point is go ahead and get our seasoning on it. So what I've got over here is got our fresh garlic. I'm going to take some of this and sprinkle it all over the top. Nice amount of garlic. Can never have too much garlic in my opinion. There we go, that's more like it. I like to make sure we got the edges well. It's just like when you make pizza, you got to start from the edges and make sure that the edges are covered. Same thing with my Focaccia. Alright, so I got the garlic on there. I'm going to take this rosemary and do the same thing. Sprinkle the rosemary around. A nice little rosemary on it. And then I like to put my red peppers on as well. Again, I'm starting from the edges, working my way in. And just going to give her just slightly push it in. And there we go. There we are. Now what we're going to do is going to let this proof for about 10 more minutes. I like to put the same damp towel over the top of it. Get it in a nice hot spot. And in 10 minutes we'll come back and pop it in the oven. Alright, Chef Mario here. As you can see, it's rising a little bit. And getting ready to put it in the oven now. What I like to do is put the infamous fingers in there that you see on most Focaccia. Let's give it a little texture. And we're going to pop it in a 380-degree oven. And we're going to cook it till it's done. Probably about 15-20 minutes or so. And what I'm going to do is halfway through with cooking, I'm going to spray it with a little olive oil to give it a little bit of a brown color and sprinkle some Parmesan. So I'll come back and show you that in a few minutes. In for about 15 minutes. I did spray it with a little olive oil already, but it's just about done. As you can see, it's got a nice golden brown color to it. And what I'm going to do is just finish it off just a little bit with a little spray of olive oil. And a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. And I'm just going to let this sit in the oven for about 5 minutes. After that, it'll be done. Appreciate you joining us. Hope you all are safe at home and enjoy the video. And we'll see you again.